The stage lights brighten as the audience murmurs with curiosity. A man in worn shoes and a faded janitor uniform steps onto the America's Got Talent stage. He looks nervous, clutching the microphone with hands that clearly know hard work. The judges glance at each other, unsure of what to expect. The audience whispers, some even doubting him before he begins. But the man lifts his head, takes a slow breath, and for the first time that night, the room becomes completely still. He explains that he cleans offices at night and dreams during the day. Growing up in a tough neighborhood, he always believed that talent wasn't defined by money or status, but by heart and perseverance. For years he practiced in empty hallways, singing between shifts, telling himself that someday he would stand on a real stage. Many people laughed at him. Some told him he was too old, too busy surviving life to chase dreams. Yet here he was, proving them all wrong by simply standing there. The music begins softly, and he closes his eyes. Then, his voice rises, a powerful, soulful tone that immediately shocks the crowd. The judges lean forward, their expressions changing from doubt to awe. With each lyric, he pours out stories of struggle, nights of exhaustion, and the quiet hope that kept him going. His voice shakes the room, not just with skill but with emotion. People in the audience begin wiping tears. They see not just a singer, but a man who carried his dream through every hardship. Halfway through the performance, the energy in the room shifts. The audience that once whispered now cheers him on, clapping with encouragement. The judges exchange stunned looks, speechless as his voice fills the theater with a strength that feels almost spiritual. When he hits the final note, the silence lasts for a moment, then the crowd erupts in applause so loud that even he is taken aback. The judges rise to their feet, giving him a standing ovation he had never imagined in his wildest dreams. The man covers his mouth, overwhelmed. All those years of struggle, all the nights he spent believing in something nobody else could see, suddenly make sense. One judge tells him that he didn't just sing, he inspired. Another says his performance is a reminder that greatness often comes from the most unexpected places. And in that moment, with his eyes shining and his hands shaking, he realizes that he has finally been seen, heard, and valued. His message to the audience becomes clear without him even saying it. In the United States, dreams don't belong to the privileged, they belong to the persistent. It doesn't matter what uniform you wear, how old you are, or how many times life has pushed you down. What matters is the courage to step forward, even when the world doubts you. His story becomes a lesson of hope for millions watching. Every dream is possible if you refuse to give up on it. The theater buzzes with energy as the next contestant steps onto the America's Got Talent stage. She is a 16-year-old girl, small in stature, with nervous eyes and trembling hands. The audience sees her fear, and the judges notice it too. She clutches the microphone tightly, trying to steady her breath. When asked about herself, she hesitates, then reveals a truth that instantly softens the entire room. She has been bullied for years. She was told she wasn't pretty enough, talented enough, or strong enough. School hallways felt like battlefields, and she spent most days feeling invisible. But dance was the one place she could escape, the place where she felt powerful, even if no one else believed in her. As the music cues up, the stage lights shift, and suddenly she isn't the frightened girl anymore. She steps back, centers herself, and when the beat drops, everything changes. Her body moves, with a confidence that contradicts her past. Sharp, precise, explosive movements ripple across the stage. She flips, turns, and hits every beat like she's rewriting her entire life through motion. The judges sit up straighter, caught off guard by the transformation. The audience, silent at first, starts cheering louder with every move. They feel her story in the way she dances, with fire, pain, and determination. Her routine is not just a performance. It is a statement. Every kick defies the words of her bullies. Every spin is a victory over the nights she cried herself to sleep. Each powerful step says, "I am enough." She dances like she has waited her entire life for this one moment on this one stage, and she refuses to let fear win again. The emotional weight behind her performance becomes impossible to ignore. Parents in the audience wipe tears, teenagers cheer her name, and the judges watch in stunned admiration. Near the end of her routine, she executes a series of intense, fast-paced moves that bring the crowd to its feet. When the music finally stops, she lands her final pose with a breathless tremble. The audience explodes with applause, screaming as if they've just watched a champion. The girl's hands fly to her face, overwhelmed by the reaction. She had walked onto the stage thinking she might embarrass herself, but instead, she has inspired thousands. The judges offer words she never expected to hear. One tells her that her courage radiated from every movement. Another says her performance was a reminder that pain can be transformed into art powerful enough to move an entire nation. A third calls her dance a message to every young person who has ever felt small. You matter. You belong. Don't ever let anyone dim your light. As she stands there smiling through tears, she realizes this moment is bigger than her. Her performance becomes a symbol for millions watching at home, proof that the hardest chapters of life can fuel the most beautiful victories. Her story reminds America that strength doesn't come from being unbroken, it comes from rising every single time someone tries to break you. The stage falls silent as an older man walks out slowly, leaning on a cane. His posture is steady but tired, the kind that tells a lifetime of stories without a single word. The audience watches with curiosity, and the judges sit up straighter, sensing that this audition is different. When asked to introduce himself, he smiles gently and explains that he is a retired military veteran. His voice carries both strength and softness, a man who has seen the world at its toughest yet still chooses hope. He tells them that after leaving the service, he struggled deeply. The transition was hard, the memories heavy, and for a long time he felt lost. Music, he says, was the one thing that helped him heal. He discovered it during physical therapy, when a nurse encouraged him to sing to keep his mind strong. The theater grows quiet, the story already touching everyone in the room. When he lifts the microphone, the lights dim to a warm glow. The instrumental begins, slow, heartfelt, almost sacred. He closes his eyes, takes a steady breath, and starts singing a patriotic song filled with gratitude, sorrow, and pride. His voice is not the perfect polished tone of a trained singer, but it carries something far more powerful, truth. Every note sounds like it was pulled straight from the depths of his journey. The audience listens in total silence, many holding their breath, as if they are witnessing not just a performance, but a man reclaiming pieces of himself. Halfway through the song, his voice cracks for a moment, not from weakness, but from emotion. The crowd feels it instantly. People in the front row wipe their eyes. Even the judges seem moved, leaning forward, caught not only by his singing but by the weight behind it. This is not just a veteran on a stage, this is a survivor, a healer, a fighter. Someone who learned that courage isn't just needed in battle, it's needed in every moment afterward, too. As he reaches the final verse, the power in his voice grows. It fills the entire theater, rising like a message to every person who has ever felt broken or forgotten. And when the last note fades, there is a brief, sacred pause. Then the audience erupts, cheers exploding like a wave. People stand instantly, clapping with genuine gratitude. The veteran lowers his head, overwhelmed, unable to speak for a moment. He never imagined a crowd cheering for him again, not for duty, not for sacrifice, but for something as personal and healing as his voice. One judge tells him that heroes come in many forms, and today he reminded America of that. Another says his performance wasn't about perfection, it was about heart, and heart is what truly moves people. A third judge thanks him, not just for his service, but for finding the courage to share his vulnerability on a public stage. As he walks off, the audience still cheering, he realizes that this moment is more than an audition. It is a message to everyone watching. No matter how broken you feel, you can rise again. Your story is not over. And sometimes, the most powerful comebacks come from those who have already given the world everything they had, yet still choose to stand up one more time.